So, first question, what is the most important thing you want Americans to take away from the January 6th hearings that begin Thursday?
Well, I think the really important thing is going to be if the January 6th committee can take us behind the scenes of what took place. This was not a purely spontaneous action on January 6th. There was a lot of lead up to it. Groups like the political arm of the Republican Attorneys General's Association were involved in what they called war games. Other political 501c4 groups that use hidden money, dark money, got the permits for the Stop the Steal rally and were involved in making, robocalls to energize people to come to this. For the first time, the Department of Justice, to my knowledge, has indicted someone who was not on scene, and that's the Proud Boys chief, Mr. Tarrio, I think his name is, Tarrio, sorry. Otherwise, it's really been entirely about folks who were in the building disrupting, damaging, and trespassing. And I think the task for the January 6th Commission is to see what can be found behind that. Who planned it, who funded, who organized it, who were the schemers who put the plot together.
In order to sort of put those building blocks together to lay out this conspiracy, you honed in on something that I think is really, really important. And it comes up in a lot of prosecutions and conspiracy cases, which is the money, following the money. So you tweeted, quote, and you just mentioned, the dark channels of influence that have corrupted politics for our years were used to plan and execute the January 6th coup attempt. The American people ought to know who the planners are and what they want. I mean, lay all of this out for us and help us understand how, if we follow those dark channels of influence, you think that it will give us a clearer picture of who was involved in a criminal conspiracy to overturn the election.
Well, you remember the Watergate hearings. And in the stories about the Watergate hearings, there was the secret meeting with the insider who knew what was going on. And he told the investigators to follow the money, that the story could be told by the flow of the dollars. And that's equally the case here, except for the fact that some of these organizations that were involved in this are allowed to not disclose their donors. And so an investigator, instead of being able to follow the money, runs bang into a wall of secrecy. And it'll be interesting to see whether the commission has been able to work its way around that. And it will also be interesting to see if the Department of Justice, through grand jury subpoenas, can press through that wall of secrecy and get the information that grand jurors need to make cases. I think they ought to. That's another legacy of the Watergate era, that a grand jury subpoena trumps these privileges, so to speak. But it remains to be determined in this particular case. So our ability to follow the money and understand what was behind the January 6th riot assault is very much a big question that this hearing will help answer.
So sort of pulling on this thread of dark money, one of the other things that you talk a lot about, and that it's a topic I'm a little obsessed with as well, is the link between dark money and Republican obstruction on issues from everything from gun safety to climate change. I mean, lay that out for the American voters out there who are frustrated by the lack of action. Why is it really about who is donating to the Republicans who refuse to move on these issues?
If you look at the climate crisis, you will see that the fossil fuel industry has built an entire armada of phony front groups through which they pour money into politics. Many of them are the groups that are allowed to hide their donors. So what you end up with is fake front groups with ridiculous names that are spending massive amounts of money and nobody knows who's really behind them, except, of course, Republicans who are in on the joke. The same thing is true with the NRA as a throughput for immense amounts of money whose real donors are not disclosed. The same is true with voter suppression. You remember the woman from Heritage Action where the tape leaked of her saying to her secret donors, we did this, we wrote all these bills for the state legislatures, we pushed them through, we got them passed. The whole thing was a scam. And of course, if you look at the way the court has been packed by special interests, the Supreme Court, you've seen those same dark money flows into the Federalist Society when they were choosing the judges, into the Judicial Crisis Network when they were campaigning for the judges, and into a whole bunch of groups that come to tell the court what to do as so-called amici curiae. So the phenomenon of dark money political control has gotten completely out of hand and now dominates the Republican Party entirely.
It's really helpful to understand this aspect of American politics. I implore everyone to start reading up and following Senator Sheldon Whitehouse. We need to understand why it's not working right so we can fix it. So democracy is functioning. Thank you so much for being here today. Hi, I'm Zerlina Maxwell. Thanks for checking out our channel on YouTube. You can see more from Zerlina by clicking any of the videos on this screen, and make sure you subscribe below to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. Thanks for watching.